Okay, call the EDA meeting for Tuesday, December 20th, noon. Call it to order. Roll call.
Jessica Bonniwell.
Brad Smith.
Tom Marzluck.
David Paradise.
Herb Molina.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion for the agenda.
Here, want to have a second?
Second.
Got it. All right, any discussion on the agenda? All in favor?
Yep.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. 3-0. Approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 18th EDA meeting.
I'll second. Do we have any discussion? Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
You want to add Sonia to the roll call? Do we have any discussion on minutes? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Okay, treasurer's report. Okay, well, we'll just go ahead and do the treasurer's report. Economic Development Authority accounts payable as of December 12th, 2020. EDA Authority Fund, EDA Fund 209-166, I should put my glasses on. 209-166-34. The EDA revolving loan fund, $257,754.78.
And I just need a motion to approve the accounts payable.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, old business, preserve update.
Just wanted to give everybody a copy of the revised request for proposal that we did for the preserve. This went out in the papers last week for the first time, and then it'll be again, it should be published again this coming weekend as well in both the Delano paper and the Buffalo paper. I haven't gotten any calls about it yet, but I just wanted to make sure you guys had a copy and knew that that was approved and out there for publishing.
Is there a state website that can go on, or is that?
You know, I would send a copy to Jolene.
I can do that, yep. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
that would be a good idea. Jolene's the Economic Development partnership with the county. So she's a good person to know. Okay, new business. I'm riding off into the sunset here. You probably want to take that one, don't you?
As far as the council goes, David will be the replacement for Tom on the EDA. David's got a vast business experience background, so it makes sense to add someone with his connections and experience in that realm. And then we can talk about it in January when we do the chair and vice chair and so on and so forth. But I would make a recommendation at that point as well that David would take over as the president of the EDA in replace of Tom. But we can talk about it at that point. And you can introduce yourself more too if you want, David.
Yeah, obviously I've known Matt for a while, so it's nice to meet you. Been on the council going on 2 years and will be on for the next 4. Moved from Richfield with my wife back in 2020. Work at Surly as the sales director for the state. So, know a lot of businesses on that end, when it comes to trying to figure out how to get grocery and all that stuff. There's some definite chain opportunities that I've already been helping with on. And we looked at Hy-Vee until they backed out of all their bigger projects in the state, but talking to maybe a Coburn's with Marketplace, their smaller stores and stuff like that, and trying to find a way in to help that out. But Yeah, just somebody that wants to get the right things into this town that are needs, not wants. And to help with, you know, not having to drive 20, 30 minutes to go find those items and keep them more local. So, here to help and excited to join with you guys.
Welcome aboard.
Yes, welcome.
There's really nothing to hand off to you, so
Just more gray
there'll
hair.
be more gray hair. Or a wishy spot on the side of your head from beating it against the wall. Okay. Well, I think you're more than qualified for that job. As far as the 2023 EDA membership, I would like to ask Matt and Dr. Sonia if you plan on staying on.
I don't have any objections to it.
Okay. Matt, you're good? Okay. The
Don't
only-
have it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then we have Rob, and, you know, Rob doesn't always make the meetings. You might want to contact him to see if he's still interested, you know. It's kind of hard to say, you know.
Well, that's something we could look at too as a whole council, because, you know, like you said, hasn't made a whole lot of meetings. So, I do know that there's another potential business owner in town that is interested in joining the EDA, and they want to give back and be a part of everything. So,
Yeah.
I think with the improvements that they're making at their business, that would be a good addition, so.
Okay. That's good. Well, I'm sure you guys will handle that, you know, after I'm gone, so.
Are you, Kirby, are you gonna reach out to Rob?
Yeah, I can try.
Well, I can also reach out to him, but I haven't gotten much response from him, so.
Yeah, you know, I found the best way to talk to Rob is just stop in.
Stop at his place.
Yeah. He's usually there. And just walk in and sit down at his desk and talk to him. Okay. And then EDA goals for 2023. I don't know, David, if you have some ideas going into this thing or what?
I mean, I think you know, as a group, I think we've always seen trying to get things rolling, kind of find those right things, and I think, you know, right away in January, we should sit down and plan out what is our top priorities, secondary, and all that kind of stuff, and try to work off of those goals. So is the grocery store the number one thing? You know, what else trickling down from those items, and work towards finding a way to make that happen. So having a monthly check-in on where we're at and really going after those things. Tom, I know you worked endlessly with Aldi, and, you know, probably gave you more gray hairs and,
Yeah,
you know,
it did.
than you needed.
I was talking about that soft spot.
Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, it's identifying the needs for the town, from where we're sitting and how we can best move forward. Seems like everybody still talks about the subway. I'd like them to stop talking about the subway, because
Well,
we
and-
got some movement, you know, with something else, you know.
There's some incorrect information going
Well,
on.
you're never gonna get in front of the incorrect information.
Right, right.
As much as you do it, people are still gonna believe what they hear. But it'd be nice to actually have that out there, put it out there to the community. This is what our goals are moving forward for the year. Not gonna say we're gonna have something that comes in like a, you know, a Hy-Vee and stuff like that, but this is what we're working on, and really put that plan out to the community. And with that, maybe we put out there, you know, I know that they started their own little thread of what they wanted, but, you know, what is it that the needs, not the wants of the town are?
Well, just to throw this in, Steve Bunn, he was involved with two other partners. They were all contractors of various sorts. They wanted to build an EV station here
Mhm.
with a fuel card station and a car wash and a strip mall, and his partners kind of got weak-kneed and they kind of moved away, so he had to cancel it. But apparently he's a leader in his church down in Watertown. They want to build a church here in Montrose.
Mhm.
And so we have a meeting next Thursday, I think it is.
this Thursday, I think,
This Thursday?
22nd.
The
Yeah.
month's going
I
fast.
Yeah,
think
I
you're,
know.
I think you're right, yeah, time's getting away from me.
Because it's backed up with the engineer meeting, right?
No, engineer meeting just got canceled,
Canceled.
Justin was just talking about that. Well,
This
just
Thursday.
moved because the snow and the holiday.
Yeah, it's this Thursday.
Yep.
So what church denomination?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not saying-
I didn't ask him when he called me.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. So we thought it'd be good to get a meeting and get Steve in here, our planner, and talk about available properties and that kind of thing with Steve, so. Apparently, they gave him the responsibility to go find a place and, you know, work out the details of where they're gonna build. So I don't know if that means that they're moving the church from Watertown to here, or they're building a sister church, or what. So we'll find out Thursday, you know, what the church situation is there. Steve's a very likable guy, and he seems to have a vested interest in Montrose for some reason. So we're kind of counting on him actually doing something. Yeah, and I think, you know, I think grocery store and fast food seem to be the two rising stars when you look at a list of what people want. There are some ridiculous things like the water parks and all that kind of stuff, but do you have any idea where the money comes from for that? But anyway, I'll get that conversation until I'm blue in the face. But anyway.
Well, and that's why I wanted to kind of put this on here too, so that we could talk about it now, as well as, you know, get ideas for, you know, come January, put together a list of the stuff that we want to look at coming into town, because we keep getting houses, we need something to help sustain those houses, because like David said, instead of having to drive, you know, to Buffalo or Watertown or Delano for your groceries or food or whatever, why can't we have something here? You know, why are places being built in, or added onto in Howard Lake, but not here where there's a higher population?
Yeah, and then you have the issue of employees getting employees, you know, that's what happened to Sarah. You know, she couldn't get any line cooks and had to shut it all down. You have somebody to cook the food. And I, for the life of me, I cannot understand that whole concept. Where are people getting money if they're not working at a job someplace? The government isn't giving them money anymore, you know, other than unemployment. There's no bonuses for not working.
I think that's where the deficiency of the generally younger population, Montrose. I mean, a few years ago it was what, 29 or 30 was the average age. So, I mean, it's got to be somewhere around 32,
It's like
33 now. So
yeah.
once those people start having kids that are 14, 15, 16 years old, then there'll be more of people looking for those types of jobs. But I think, especially with being more of a bedroom community right now, that's what we're running into, is there's not these people that are really looking for that type of job, a part-time, you know, type of job. So.
Well, I talked to the manager at the McDonald's in Delano, and, you know, I was frustrated with the machine. You know, I hate those stupid machines,
Well, you and me both.
you know.
And I stare at you while you're doing it.
I go,
Why can't they just take your order?
I stand at the counter.
No,
till
it's
somebody
a
comes
order.
along.
I don't go in, so I don't know.
I just stand there, I won't use the machine. I asked, you know, what is it with, doesn't anybody want to work? She said she can't hire teenagers to work there because the parents just give them money, they don't have to work. And I'm thinking, there can't be that much of a difference in financial stability between Delano and here, you know? So, I don't get it.
Yeah, some of the problem with this too, though, is just the population that's working right now. There's 10 to 1 people leaving the workforce and coming in. So
Yeah.
there's just not that many people coming into the workforce as a whole, not whether it's construction,
Mhm.
line cook, whoever.
Mhm.
And that'll be here for the next 10 years. We're not gonna, nobody's gonna figure that out. If they do, they are the golden company.
Right.
But what is the root cause of that is what I want to know.
Is there retirement?
It's retirement, it's 100% retirement. So 10 to 1, people are retiring, then new people coming in entering the workforce. And so it's, you know, there is some government this and that, but the biggest culprit is more people leaving. It's the boomer generation, that's the biggest reason.
If they can, they do.
Yeah. You know, and you talk about things the community needs, right? And obviously a grocery store is a big one. You know, we lost our grocery store in Young America, and I was guilty. There's a lot of people that, you know, it wasn't the best place to go, but when you needed something, they had it, right? And now you try to get it at a Dollar General or somewhere, and it's just not the same. So that's a very important one. You know, fast food's important, I guess, for companies that have employees, so they're not all just going to Casey's and doesn't have what you need. So a fast food option would be great, but a restaurant's an important one too, you know. You talked about all the people that live here, and you're either going to Delano to go out to eat, you're going to Buffalo, you're going to Cokato, you know, wherever. You know, having a nice restaurant, you know, or like what we had, or you had, is very important. I mean, that draws people in.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Yeah.
to me, those three are pretty important for businesses and just homeowners alike.
The teenage population too, part of it is, the people who live here, if they have teenagers, they move to Buffalo. Because, and I know a number of my patient base have done that, because once those kids are in sports,
Such a hassle, yeah.
you're always in Buffalo. You're in Buffalo 3 to 5 times a day.
It's crazy.
So they move.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean,
They
get
sell their
closer to
house.
the amenities and school and everything.
Mhm.
I had 3 kids playing soccer, and sometimes we'd have to travel 20, 25 miles to take them to a soccer game. And that was one. Then the other one had to go this direction to a soccer game, and the other one was playing over here. So, we didn't move because of that, but, so I don't quite get that, We
But it's
just
the,
travel.
Well, if they maybe bought a starter home here and then,
Right.
their kids are getting older and they're maybe in a position to buy a different, bigger, better, different house, in Buffalo, closer to where everything is.
I've got one for sale.
Yeah. It makes sense.
And that,
Yeah.
the amenities that they have,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have the same offerings.
Yeah,
And
it is a regional park. No, I didn't say that.
well, like even my kids were like, Mom, you should move to Buffalo. We're there all the time. And I'm like, yeah. And when you leave my house, I will still be here and I will be closer to work. So,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people, it's not like there's a ton of people that have that where their work is right here. So
Mhm.
you're fortunate in that,
Right.
But
Right.
for some people, it might make sense to move to Buffalo with their older kids
mhm.
out of their Montrose starter home.
Well, I think one of the other things that we run into as well, and I think that this could be something that we could look into in the future. I think Waverly did this because I remember when we were going to the chamber meetings about they were doing a study on daycare,
Yeah.
right? If we could find, some sort of, entity or group that would want to bring a daycare into town, there's such a deficiency in the daycare
Mhm.
Yeah.
realm of people having to, go all the way to basically where they work to drop their kids off at daycare.
I understand, we talk about it all the time
Yeah,
at CCC, we'd like to open our own, just to
Right.
help whether it's shop employees, office employees, any of that, just
Yeah,
so we can keep them working.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's more of a county issue too,
Yeah.
not only just us. I remember when.
It is a countywide shortage, because I know Jolene was kind of working, she worked with Waverly to help them, and then she's been working on some other projects within the county as well.
If I remember right, when they came back with the results, they weren't they looking at a center going to Waverly?
I think so.
Mhm.
Whatever came of any of that?
I don't think it's been shut down, I think it's kind of in progress.
In progress, but I don't think there was
Actually.
something with the EDA, they couldn't do it or get the money or something. I don't remember the exact reason why it slowed down.
Yeah.
Well, then you have the other end of the spectrum with senior housing and assisted living, and, everywhere they're building those things, they fill up before they're even
Yeah.
done building them,
Mhm.
So that would attract, people here, because if they're.
Well, that would be nice to get like the preserve, like that in that area.
Mhm.
That's kind of what that was supposed to be in the first place, so.
Have fun with that pager when you get one of them in town. We have 3 of them now. Trust me.
Oh, I'm well aware of
Lots
it.
of lift kits, lots of lift.
Oh, yeah.
We even bought them their own, like a lift chair. The
Oh, you
fire
did?
department, we donated a lift chair, so we didn't have to go there. But yeah, they fill up right away. Like I said, we have 3 now, that as soon as we build one, we build another, and got another level, it's.
Yeah. There's what, 3 of them in sight, St. Michael, and they're all full.
So,
Monticello,
The
yeah.
Buffalo's got them.
Yeah, Buffalo. Yeah, so there's a need there. I don't understand why developers shy away from that.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick turnaround and they're out of here, so.
And one thing I heard after the election was there is a need, not only just, I don't necessarily think it's Montrose, but from Delano, I guess that there was a church school that was gonna go in, and I think that got shut down. Well, you have all these parents that are clamoring for this church school. That might be an opportunity for us to have that come in here, and you have the surrounding communities of, you know, all of those kids that don't wanna go to the public school, they wanna go to the more or less the private, you know,
Well,
church schools.
I know Buffalo Covenant in Buffalo, they bought the 5 acres of land right along Highway 25.
Mhm.
It's like $750,000, and they started a church school this year, and they're having it in the existing building. So I think they're gonna wind up building a school on that property.
Mhm.
So there was a demand, they didn't know if they were gonna be able to fill it up. They filled it up and there were leftovers, you know, they
Yeah.
couldn't take them in because of space requirements. So, yeah, I don't know how churched, lack of a better term, the community is for interest in that, you know, church schools. I don't know. You've been here a long time.
So the community isn't a big church-going community, because all the churches that I know of are struggling
Oh.
with lack of the, attendance or just interest. I know that every church I talk to, they're down in attendance and interest. And that's kind of community-wide, statewide, from what I hear.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah.
and some of it is that these churches are traditional, people like more contemporary if they're gonna go. I hear, talking to the people, I even heard it today, they don't like the hypocrisy in some churches. Well, there's hypocrisy in every church, I think. And that's
Well-
a people thing.
Any churches has people in it, you have issues, right?
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
mean, you know, I go to Buffalo Covenant and, you know, probably one Sunday a month they do the hymns and all that stuff, and I'm like, you know, I'm trying to keep my eyes open, but, because I like the more contemporary
Right.
music.
upbeat.
Upbeat, yeah, because you know, you get joy and you feel good when you leave instead
Right.
of like, wow, I feel like I've been to a funeral, you know. But that's personal opinion and,
Yeah, and that's what some of the churches are trying to change, you know, it's just a process. But a lot of the people who go to church, they'll travel into the cities.
Wow.
They go to their big churches that they used to go to.
Wow.
yeah. Well, I know that when I was putting invocation staff together, I tried calling the Catholic Church here in Waverly, and they never even bothered responding to me. So, and I called like 3 times, and then I met the pastor someplace, I can't remember where it was, and I told him who I was, and I was trying to get him to do invocation, and I said, yeah, and I didn't get a call back. He said, oh, I called you back, and I'm thinking, man, you're gonna go to hell, Father. You better you didn't call me back. You may have called somebody, but you didn't call me. But anyway, you know, that may be another thing you're gonna have to look for is somebody else to fill in. You know, I don't know if Ryan's gonna hang in there. As long as we're here, Teresa's on board, you know. So we may need some other pastors to fill in that area to do the invocations. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as the town goes, I mean, we came up with 3 or 4 things that to focus on, you know. Not necessarily in that order either. I mean, we're kind of in a whatever comes by, we'll listen kind of mode, you know.
Well, I think whatever would come to town too, I mean, probably gonna be successful because they're gonna get all the business.
Yeah. Well, I think Sarah did a heck of a business when she was open,
Mhm.
you know, but, you know, like I said, you gotta have people to cook the food. I don't know, Jackie B's is up, I know it's up for sale, but I haven't heard anything. I know they wanna focus on their other restaurant, but I haven't heard anything what's going on there either. That'd be really sad if we lose Jackie B's too, you know.
I know their catering business is really taking off. out of
Taking off?
Watertown. Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
yeah, busy like every weekend, so.
Well, part of it's because Sarah's gone, Red's is
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah,
So those other places are too.
yeah, I don't think Red Lodge caters, do they?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. I mean, Red Lodge's business has just exploded too.
But I know that, like Bees, they do a lot of, there's that rustic barn that does all the weddings and
Weddings.
stuff outside of Delano, and I don't know if they're like the only one that caters there, but they're there like
I thought
every
they
weekend.
owned
Hmm.
I thought they did too.
I thought he was just a partner with it, but I don't know the
Yeah,
whole
but
scenario,
partner
but,
Something.
it. Yeah.
but, yeah, so they're there every weekend with that, so.
No, I think finding the right tenant in there, I think there's been some nibbles at it, but I think finding the right tenant for that space, somebody that actually is gonna have it open rather than is it open or is it not, that's gonna change the landscape of what we have to offer. you know?
Yeah, and I don't know how much control Untides has over that, because, you know, Untides owns the building, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know if Sarah was leasing from them, or, I
That
don't know
was
what,
my understanding. that
yeah,
she
I
was
didn't
leasing.
ask what the arrangement was, but, yeah, I mean, if you can get somebody that's got a solid crew that may be in a smaller location somewhere, I mean, there's no doubt that this town can support that restaurant, because, you know, every time I went in there, they were pretty full,
Mhm.
you know, especially on the weekends.
Well, I think part of their problem is they started off in the spring, you know, you get all the college students coming, then they leave. You
Mhm.
didn't have that established 40 or 50-year-old people that were
Mhm.
working there.
Yep.
Let you take a big hit when all of a sudden all your help is gone.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you do have to compete with pay for Delano and
Right.
Buffalo.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah,
they-
that's the other thing, line cooks are now getting paid now, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I heard, I mean, stop at a Holiday gas station, starting pay at Holidays, $20 an hour. I mean, It's tough to compete.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Just-
Yeah, that's,
Yes.
Yep.
I hear the complaints from teenagers that I work with all the time that talk about, oh, this place only pays $14 an hour. I go, only?
Yeah, that's where I go to my lecture about my first job was $1.50 an hour, I don't wanna hear about it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, it's just, that's what it is today though, I mean, it's
Yeah,
$20 at a Holiday. So line cook or somebody else, you know, that has some skill, that's a different
yeah.
deal.
So, I guess, you know.
Yeah, as far as our open property and stuff in town, it's all posted on state websites, and I know it's all privately owned, but it's all posted on the state websites for advertisement. I've talked to, someone that's involved with, realty for commercial properties with the state of Minnesota, and they said it's all listed, and they get views on that site nonstop, but people are avoiding buying property right now because the cost of land is so high.
Well, and, you know, we've kind of been through this with Steve when he was talking about doing his EV station thing. We let him know what properties were available, and he was stuck on the one out in front of Craft Pattern.
Yeah.
And that's pretty expensive land there.
I've had somebody else
It's a tough guy to get a hold of too.
talk to me about that particular property recently in the last couple weeks. I gave him some information about development and the zoning for that area, because they were talking about mini storage.
Oh.
I know. He hasn't come back, hasn't said anything, but I said he would need a conditional use permit to do mini storage there, because we don't really allow it under any of our zoning code,
Yeah.
so.
So who owns it? Is it still?
Guy, I don't know, we
It's,
tried to get a hold of him a couple of times, it's hard to.
It's on our website, who owns it? I can't remember the name right
Is it Leverman? It was at one
No.
time, wasn't it?
It's referred to as the Lemmerman property.
Yeah.
That's.
now. But yeah,
Um,
I can't remember the name of, like I took my phone, I can see the sign.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I put that information in the pamphlet too, the, you know, EDA pamphlet that I put together. And like I said, you know, we've talked to Steve about the properties that were available in town too. I mean, you got,
Royal Innovations is the one on the corner. And then Real Estate Investments is the other one that backs up to that house.
mm. Yeah, and they advertise the price on their property per square foot, you know, which I thought was a little weird, but I guess if you subdivide, that's the way you would do it. Yeah, it's expensive. All the property here is expensive. That piece of land on the southeast corner,
Dirty field,
yeah, that's 5 million, 5.1 million or something. So, and you know, I don't know where else you would want to stick a church. I mean, you wouldn't want to put it out in the business park unless,
because they don't have, he kind of said they don't have an idea in mind for where to put it, I'm like thinking, I don't either.
yeah. Well, it's like asking us if we did business plans too, and it's like,
Yeah, no.
I might be interested after I'm not on council anymore, I'll put
Yeah.
a business plan together for you, but,
Yeah,
yeah,
so we'll see what they have to say on Thursday. but-
yeah.
What about the speakers who came last time we met?
The racetrack thing,
Haven't heard anything
haven't
further
heard,
from them. yeah.
he called me,
I talked to him once or twice after that meeting, and then I haven't heard from him now.
yeah, he called me one day and I forget what he was asking me something weird. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't really impactive on what our involvement with them would be, but he had a question about something, and you know, so I guess they're still kicking it around. They had actually 2 other places they were looking at.
Yeah,
He said
Big
one
Lake.
when they were here, but they actually have 2. That'd be kind of something different in town that would attract people, you know. So hopefully they can get their act together to get that done. So, yeah. Other than that, anybody have any other new business they want to talk about?
Just one thing, I received it this morning from the Wright County Economic Development. It was just their fee for 2023 for us being a member of that. It was like $967. I'll just put it on the,
EDP, you mean?
yeah, the
partnership?
Economic Development Partnership,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Jolene's
With
group.
Jolene's group,
Okay,
yep. It was $967
When do they do their
for
meetings?
2023.
I'm sorry?
When do they do their meetings?
It's on a Tuesday, is it the first Tuesday of the month, or, I don't remember. I think it's the first Tuesday of the month. Don't quote me on that, I'll ask Jolene for sure when their meeting is, right? I can go on the Wright County agenda, it'll show the meetings. I wasn't sure that the partnership was gonna give us, I don't know what return we were gonna get out of the partnership. You know, Jolene knows what we have, she knows the properties that are available, she knows that we're interested in pretty much any kind of business that would move in here. You know, we're not selective when it comes to, I mean, if it was a, you know, pop shop or something, I guess I would have a problem with it, but, you know, what can I say? So, but anyway,
Do you think it's worth it to keep being a part of their partnership?
yeah, it is, because it
I mean,
keeps,
it's like the studies and stuff that they did this past year, I thought those
Yeah,
were
they-
very valuable.
yes, absolutely, yeah, I would still, I mean, that's a small investment considering what she could potentially bring to the party,
Mhm.
you know. I had the same question in my head too, you know, is it worth it, you know, but I think it is.
Yeah.
We haven't-
Especially if we can be more involved with some of their meetings and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you can only go to so many meetings, you know. Yeah. You know, you can meet yourself to death and not really accomplish anything, so. Then you got the Wright County EDA, which is another one, you know. I'm not sure how much of a bang for our buck we would get with that either, so. can I say? You know, Jolene's good about getting out and talking to businesses, you know. We went to CCC and went to Craft Pattern. And that's really all we have in town, so there's not a lot of selection there, so.
But I think she keeps us in mind if there's something that comes across her desk that she thinks would be good for Montrose, you know, I think.
I stopped in and talked to her week before last when I was at the commissioners meeting, and, you know, she's a little frustrated. She doesn't feel that she gets the support from the commissioners as she should. You know, Mike is always wanting to whack things off the kneecaps financially, and he comes to me, what do we need that for when we have EDA? So it's a whole different ballgame, Mike. You know, try to explain to him what she does versus what the EDA does. And, but they funded it again, so we're good for at least 2023 you know, in the budget. So, I don't know. Does anybody have any other ideas on new business? I think we kicked that one to death, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, our next meeting is scheduled for January 17th. Same place, same station. Do I hear a motion to adjourn unless anybody has anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? I've never heard anybody say no.